The Tavistock Gender Identity Clinic will finally close its doors on Sunday. It follows severe criticism that it gave some of the most vulnerable members of society treatments that lacked sufficient safety or clinical effectiveness. It was the brainchild of psychiatrist Dr. Domenico Dicelli, inspired by a single case of a teenager who claimed she was a boy in a female body.
He told me, when I was a child, I had all these differences, and my parents should have seen it. Why didn't they do anything about it? But that implanted in me the idea of creating a service for children and adolescents.
From its launch in 1989, with just a handful of referrals, it grew into the largest children's gender clinic in the world, referring around 2,000 for puberty blockers, but failing to follow up to see how they were doing. It also ignored the concerns of staff, some of whom became whistleblowers. Formal concerns were first raised in 2005 by therapist Sue Evans.
My concerns back then was actually around a 16-year-old child that I had seen referred after 4 sessions for a hormone therapy treatment. It is strange that such a powerful medication could be given on such a small level of assessment.
Yes.
2/3 of the clinic's patients were female, and they often had an underlying mental health condition. But the clinic stopped providing therapy and focused on a medical pathway. There was also concern that patient support groups, such as transgender charity Mermaids, had undue influence, which they've denied. In 2018, a devastating report by Dr. David Bell concluded that the service was not fit for purpose. The following year, a legal challenge brought by former patient Kira Bell questioned if children could properly consent to treatment. That ultimately failed, but it caught the attention of the media.
My hope was that outside of the noise of the culture wars, support would shine a light on this harmful experiment on vulnerable children and young people. These drugs seriously harm me in more ways than one, and they have harmed many more, particularly young girls and women.
In September 2020, NHS England announced an independent review by Dr. Hilary Cass. She found that options other than gender transitioning were not being explored, and staff felt under pressure not to question parents' and children's assumptions. Finally, in July 2022, NHS England announced it would be closing the clinic and opening new regional services offering psychosocial and psychological support, but not medical. For some, the closure will come too late, their bodies forever changed by an NHS service which failed to protect them. Ray Addison, GB News.